Hey, it's me, Joseph. Shocker. You're probably wondering, who are you doing today? You have three completely different jerseys up there. You're right. We have Flash Gordon. AJ Brown. Sorry, the Flash Gordon. AJ Brown. Antonio Brown. It's Josh Gordon. If you don't know what you should know, you're probably like, what do those jerseys have to do with each other? Patriots. That's right. In case you forgot, AB Patriot for Uno game. AJ Brown is going to be a Patriot. He got traded there this year. And Flash Gordon caught Tom Brady's 500th touchdown pass. Yay! So let's get into the off-season preview after the fit check. All right, now for the fit. I don't know if you can see the fit because it's very dark in here right now. Let me give you a little more light. What the heck? Technology is ruining me. We got Spider-Man shirt, gray shorts, some slippers, and my Fortnite Nerf drum gun. You're probably like, Joseph, why do you have a Fortnite Nerf drum gun? Because I saw it at Walmart and I wanted it, dummy. That was embarrassing. Came back and hit me. So, yeah, let's get into this preview now. Starting off where we always do, you should know the drill. Talking to you two viewers. Quarterback, Drake May. Coming off a season, his sophomore season to be specific, where he was second in MVP voting. And just his first full season as a starter, it's very impressive. Very hard to get MVP votes in this league, obviously. Ask Eli Manning. So I do expect a regression from him this season, but I mean, he showed last year that he can hang. In the playoffs, it was rough, but I am going to choose to look at the positive, which was 90% of the regular season outside of a game here or there. So I think he can come back and be a great quarterback. Give me half a second, everybody. There we go. That is better. If you don't know what I changed, good. Looking at this running back room. Ramondre Stevenson at year 1. And of course, remember, these are ESPN's projected starters, not my projected starters. Thank you. So, Ramondre Stevenson at the projected 1 with Travion Henderson at the 2. Now, from the film watch, I like Travion Henderson more. I think he should be the 1, and I think Ramondre Stevenson could actually be a really good backup to him. And the reason I'm not a big Ramondre Stevenson guy is because he struggles to hold on to that ball. He is a fumbler. I mean, looking at his career, let's take a look at his career fumbles. Like, I saw it on film. You see it when you watch the games. Not last year. Sorry, I'm looking at the overview page, not the stat page. Silly me. Okay, so I guess this guy's stats are non-existent. See, I'm not crazy. He does not have stats, apparently. Cool beans, as they say. Yeah, I just closed my tab. Fuck. Whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I think Travion Henderson will weasel his way into starting, but we'll see. Now, let's talk about the wide receivers. In case you can't tell what I'm doing, I'm showing you all my AJ Brown stuff. Because he's the one. I miss AJ Brown on my football team. Did he have a down year last year? Certainly, yes, Aroni. Is he a bad receiver? No way in hell. Last season, he did have a lower season yardage than typical. Right? Yeah, his second lowest, actually. And there's a few reasons for that. One, Kevin Patullo was not a good play caller for him. He did not scheme him open. He did not make plays that were made for A.J. Brown. And two, I hate to say it as a Birds fan, when a Birds hat, go Birds. Jalen Hurts definitely had a down year last year. So, I mean, for that, yeah, so AJ did struggle. But he still had 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. And he's had 7 touchdowns the last 3 years. He's had 1,000 yards the last 4 years and 6 of his 7 years in the league. But last year, he also had 121 targets, which, for comparison, the year before he had 97. And A.J. Brown finished with 1,079 rushing yards. That was the 2K Saquon year. And this year, he had 1,003. So the yak was gone for A.J. Brown this year. But honestly, nothing else was. He was still very prominent in first downs, only having 4 less. Which, again, with 11 more catches, you want more. But also 7 touchdowns still. So A.J. Brown still is a good player. Don't get me wrong. I do think he has had regression. I mean, he's old. He's almost 30. He actually just turned 29. June 30th, I remember. So I think he's a great one, honestly. I still think he is that dominant 50-50 ball threat that Drake May honestly was missing last year. Statistically, Drake May was the best deep accuracy quarterback. Now you get a guy that can go downfield and get those 50-50 balls that Drake May is throwing up. And honestly, for a while with A.J. Brown, it was more like 80-20 balls. I will say the past year, it was definitely more 30-70 balls. But I still think that was just because of the situation, and he didn't want to be there. Now looking at the 2 and the 3, Romeo Doubs, Kayshon Boutte. Now, first off, let me say this. Receiving room compared to last year, where I believe the starters were Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, and Demario Douglas. This is a 100% increase. And you keep putting your starters from last year anyways. Now, Kayshon Boutte, you know what you're going to get out of him. He is going to be a solid receiver for you. I believe last year was a career year for him. And congratulations, Kayshon Boutte. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this year, which he's going to have statistical regression. He's not the 2 anymore. And that's for the better. I mean, he's talented, but you have Romeo Doubs coming in from Green Bay, who has more talent, and he's shown to have more talent. Now, I will say, is he a little overrated? Oh, would you look at that? They actually had the same amount of yards last year. But yards don't tell it all. Film says it all as well. Tells most of it, actually. And honestly, yeah, Kayshon Boutte, they did not have the same amount of yards. I'm just an idiot. Kayshon Boutte was definitely not as good on film. I mean, he wasn't good statistically either in a receiving core that was better than Green Bay's, admittedly, but still not good. And then looking at Hunter Henry, I'm not a big Hunter Henry guy, but I mean, last year he had good production because really outside of Stephon Diggs, you didn't have a dominant guy. So, I mean, my hat is very tight. So, I do think he is definitely serviceable tight end. But I do not expect him to have another 800-yard year. Not with A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs coming in. And by the way, A.J. Brown over Stephon Diggs, huge improvement. And then the O-line. I actually really like this O-line. Don't get it twisted. Will Campbell was definitely good last year. When he came back in the playoffs, yeah, he sucked. He was playing through injuries, and he sucked. There's no way around it, but he was good last year. Elijah Vera Tucker. I'm pretty high on Elijah Vera Tucker, I'd say. I like Elijah Vera Tucker. Oh my gosh, that's 2 recordings in a row where I called him Tucker. Oh my gosh. But yeah, and then you get Jared Wilson, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a ton about Jared Wilson. I believe it is his 2nd year. Yes, it is. And that's scary. You know, this is an O-line that was not great last year. Like, statistically, they weren't great. And I'll talk about Morgan Moses in a second, but your center's kind of got to anchor your line. Because if you have a bad center, then it's going to be rough on your QB. Because you're in a division with some good D tackles. No, you're not. I lied. You're in a conference with some good D tackles. So, no, not a lot of great D tackles in this division. Actually, they have the best one, and we'll get to him later. And then you got Morgan Moses on the right side of your right tackler. I like it. I know he had a kind of a down year. He's old. He's going to be a little washed. Whatever. I like him. Now looking at your base 3-4 defense. Christian Barrymore. He is at the end. I like Christian Barrymore. I won't say I dislike him. Yeah, that's all I'll say, though. I think his contract was a good contract. It's a little much. I'm thinking of the wrong player. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, Christian Barrymore. Back to what I was saying. Christian Barrymore is not going to have a lot of impact on this team. I was thinking of the wrong person. I'm sorry. We'll get to him in a later. I feel stupid. Christian Barrymore is not going to have a lot of impact on this team. Not when you got Milton Williams and Cody Durden in front of you. I know they run a 3-4, so he'll probably be on the field. But I think Cody Durden is going to get... I hope that's how you say his name. He's going to get a lot of games this year as, he's a second-year guy. So, I don't know what round he was drafted in. Now, I will say 27 years old in your second season. Rather no. But that's okay. You know what? We've seen older rookies. I actually haven't. I have not been alive long enough to see them. Okay, back to what I was saying. Milton Williams, right at the end. Here, let me flip the hat around. I miss Milton Williams. I miss Milton Williams on my team. Milton Williams is just a flippin' dog. Milt, as I'm going to call him, because that's what we call him. That's what I called him when he was in Philly. Milt. He anchors your defensive line, and they really showed that last year. When Milt was not on the field for the Patriots D line was a lot worse, the same thing happened with the Eagles. Once he left the Eagles, our D line kind of blew for the first half of the year. So he is a game changer. He is a game changer, and I love him here. And I'm jealous. I'll stop glazing. Harold Landry the third. You know what you're getting with Harold Landry. And I believe he was actually put on the PUP list. Yes, he was. Which sucks. Get well soon. Now, Harold Landry is definitely not a bad backer. But I will say, against the past, he's not great. And I know they typically use him as an edge rusher, which is good because that's where he works. But when you're dropping him into coverage, I do think if he is on a tight end or even some running backs, it's rough. Now, Christian Ellis. I don't like Christian Ellis. I don't think he is a good linebacker. I don't really have anything positive to say about him. He's there on the defense, and you'll know he's there, but next to him, you got Robert Spillane, who is much, much better. In my opinion, I think Robert Spillane is better at everything. I think he's a better cover. I think he's a better tackler, better at stopping the run. I think he's better at legit everything. Getting to the quarterback, too, I know they don't really blitz their backers a lot, but he is still better. And then Draymond Jones, which is who I thought I was talking about earlier, and I don't know why I'm stupid. Do I think the contract was a little much? A tad, teeny bit, but they needed it. They needed the defensive end because they really did struggle getting to the quarterback last year. They went out and got a guy. They got a dog, and I like this signing. I actually do like this signing. It's one of my favorite signings that I didn't realize until researching. I actually really like this signing. Now, is he going to be the best at getting to the quarterback on your team? I don't think so. I still think Milt has that. I'm sorry, I'll stop glazing. Why is my thing doing that? It's so weird. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But yeah, I like that. I think that's a big upgrade from what they had last year. We're getting into the secondary, which I'm not a fan of. I'm going to start with Kevin Byard at free safety and the free agent signing. Sorry, I got to sit up in my chair. He's good. He's a ball hawk, obviously. Obviously, he's led the league twice in interceptions. But he's kind of washed. Like, if you look at the film, he constantly is getting beat. And I hate to say this, but if he's not in the right system for him, it can be a good system. But if it's not a system for him, then you're kind of screwed because he does not play well in certain systems. Like, I think back to Philadelphia and even Chicago for the first half. So that for the first year he was there, he just was not very good in the system. He wasn't getting interceptions that he normally would. He was letting up a lot of yards, and he did finish career high back-to-back years with 80 tackles, with 80 solo tackles in specific. In Chicago, he had 130, which, you're supposed to get tackles as a safety, but when you're letting up the catches, no, you're not. Last year, he definitely improved. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of this signing, I'm not going to lie. But I do think if the system is good enough with Mike Vrabel, he will succeed, which will be nice. I do enjoy watching him play football, even though he is unk and washed. He's from Middle Tennessee. Shout out Middle Tennessee. So not the only safety we'll be talking about from Middle Tennessee. I know, crazy. Now we're looking at Craig Woodson, the other safety. I'm a big Craig Woodson guy. I believe this is his second year. Actually, I know it's his second year. He's a fourth-round player. And I'm going to give you a bold prediction instead of actually talking about him, because I'm high on Craig Woodson. I think this year he will lead the Patriots in interceptions and also be the better safety out of the safety duo. Ooh, that's a bold prediction right there. But I'm going to stick by that. Now, Carlton Davis III and Christian Gonzalez. That's a really good corner duo. I don't know what you want me to say about them. What hasn't been said already. They are a great corner duo, highlighted by the elite cornerback, Christian Gonzalez, who is a top 4, top 3, some argue top 2 corner in the league. He's definitely not top 1. No. But he's elite. There's nothing more you can say about it. I mean, when he plays, he plays to win, which is always what you want to see. And Carlton Davis, I'll say this. I am definitely not a Carlton Davis believer, but he is not a bad cornerback. And last year he was very good across from Christian Gonzalez. Now, did they play the greatest receivers? No, but that doesn't matter. When you're good, you're good. Now, nickelback Marcus Jones. And honestly, I have a lot to say about Marcus Jones. Now, Marcus Jones is he's a young corner. He's only... Okay, he's not very young. He's 27. Still young. I think it's his third year, maybe? Fourth year? I don't know. Now, Marcus Jones is not a bad nickel. He's not a bad nickel. The problem is he constantly will, jump the gun. And, he'll see a ball. He's like, oh, me see ball, me get ball. Oh, I miss. Now they're going upfield to 25 yards. I feel like that happened a lot in film last year. But, he is definitely a ball hawk. He plays physical. He wants the ball. I mean, you can never fault a guy for wanting the ball, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, honestly, it's one of the better, well-rounded teams we've looked at so far, if you can't tell. I mean, I've already been talking about them for 16 flipping minutes. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the better rounded teams, and I actually really like the outlook of this offense and defense. Am I going to stop the video? Now, before we get into these free agents, probably like, Joseph, you're wearing a completely different outfit, and the lighting is completely different. I went to bed. So, back to what I was saying. For free agency, I already kind of talked about everybody, but yet Draymond Jones, Elijah Vera Tucker, Kevin Byard III, and then Romeo Dobbs. And then, of course, you bring over A.J. Brown and a big offseason trade with the Eagles. So, I mean, yeah, really good free agency. One of the better classes we've seen so far. Actually, all the classes we've looked at, besides the Dolphins and Bills, have been good, honestly. And this is just keeping it up. Not really any big names, I guess. Kevin Byard would be the biggest name, but this is still a good group of guys. So, I mean, yeah. And I guess now I'll see you in the coaching. Really tired. Now, obviously, at head coach, you got the guy who can't keep his dick in his own wife, Mike Vrabel. Yeah, he's a good coach, sadly. And then Josh McDaniels is really the only one that will have any impact as your offensive coordinator. And still really tired. No, Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is definitely a good offensive coordinator. Just keep him on the Patriots and he'll do good. So yeah, I'm not a lot to say about the coaching staff because this is a proven coaching staff. It's not really anyone new. I guess Zach Kurth, which I think is how you say his name, he's here, but he's also not new. So yeah, time for the draft, I guess. Now, first off in the draft, you go out with pick 28 to trade up with, I believe, the Niners? Possibly. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but you get Caleb Lomu. Good pick. You need no tackle. If Morgan Moses ain't sticking around for too long, and honestly, he could be benched this year. Who knows? Then, in round 2, pick 35, you attack another position of need. Gabe Jackus? I don't know how to say his name. Edge of Illinois. Now, again, I do not think he'll start a lot this year. I don't think. Maybe not at first, at least. Because I do think that they are just kind of developing him here. And then the same with your next 2 picks. Karen Prunty, I believe is how you say that name. He is a quarterback in the 5th round of Wake Forest. Really hope you're developing him and not throwing him out there. And Eli Radrindran, tight end, who, honestly, outside of those guys, I don't see really anyone else making an impact anytime. Like, they'll be in. You got a few special teamers here. You got a QB who probably... But I do want to point out my favorite name this entire draft. Quintavious Hutchins. Now, I don't know who this is. He's an edge out of Boston. But I like his name. Oh, shit. Is he wearing 45? I'm not a big 45 guy. I'm not going to lie to you. So, yeah, I mean, pretty good draft. Outside of Caleb Lomu or maybe Gabe Jackus, I don't see a lot of production from this. Oh, and, of course, Eli Rodgers. I don't know how to say his name. But I also don't think any of them will play too much, besides maybe Gabe, because they got starters in front of them that are good enough to start and good to learn behind. So I mean, I do like the thought with this draft. I'm not talking bad about this draft any means. This is a pretty good draft. I like this draft. Yeah. So now I believe it's schedule time. This is a yikes schedule right here. So week 1, you have the Seattle Seahawks rematch of the Super Bowl, and you know that's a tough matchup for any team. But I will say I do think the Patriots got better this offseason while the Seahawks got worse. I could see that honestly be closer than the Super Bowl, and honestly going either way. And then week 2 you get the Steelers. Now this is your first home game, and I do think they take that. Now the next 2 games are a little rough. Jags, assuming they can be what they were last year, and the Bills. Now, I do believe they will split with the Bills this year. I'll get that out of the way. So we're just going to give the Bills the win at home. And I do think there's a chance they could beat the Jags, but I'm going to move towards more the Jags beating them. And that's really all I'm going to, examine. But also, for the rest of the schedule, you get Raiders, Jets, Bears, Dolphins, Packers, an international game with the Lions. Bye week Chargers, Bills, Vikings, Chiefs, Jets, Broncos, and Dolphins. Now this is a very rough schedule, honestly. Especially the end where you have the Chargers, Bills. Honestly, it doesn't even. There's a few stretch of games where it is Green Bay, Lions, Chargers, Bills, Vikings, Chiefs. Yikes, that's hard. That's hard for any team. But I will say, I do think this is a better team than we've looked at. And honestly, I'm thinking floor for this team is more 7-10, and ceiling 11-6. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I have them going 10-6. I didn't know that because I already looked at their schedule before this, which sadly is not enough for them to win the division. So I do have Buffalo still in the lead at 11-6. But I do suspect that this team will make the playoffs. I mean, I hope you make playoffs at 10-7. I can only think of one team that didn't make it at 10-7. Seahawks in 2024, if you're wondering. So, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty high on this team, honestly. And I don't like that I'm high on this team because I don't like the Patriots. But, yeah. So, take care. Get good sleep tonight, unlike I got, because I'm still exhausted. So, yeah, love you all.